So I'm playing some close quarters, and I see Mr. Invincible here, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm not recording, so I had to hit record real quick. But for whatever reason, his teammates couldn't see me either. I'm just sitting there blasting away at him, and all these people were spawning right in front of me, which was weird enough that they were spawning in front of me, and they didn't see me. So I got the bright idea of, hey, if I lay here, maybe they won't know I'm here. Unfortunately, this guy figures out my plan and kills me before I can be an absolute jerk and just kill them as they spawn. But what's going on, guys, in the works? And we are playing a little Aftermath TDM. This is a quick little round here I played earlier today. I hopped on and I picked up the spam cannon, and I was like, well, you know, maybe I should switch to a class that actually has the M417 on it and give it a whirl, because I have wanted to talk about it and just recon in general in the semi-autos, because it seems like so many people out there just absolutely hate the semi-autos. Recently, I actually did a video about the silenced M39, and it's actually a pretty, lethal combination. The M39 has a really quick bullet velocity, and overall, it's a pretty good semi-auto. But I think the king of the spammable semi-autos is definitely the M417. And if you guys recall, when close quarters actually first came out, everybody, and I mean everybody, was using the M417 to the point where people were calling it overpowered, that it just ruined the game, that it's just way too good for a sniper rifle, all that stuff. And I mean, this is a pretty good rifle. I will admit the M417 definitely has its strengths. It shoots a little bit faster than the other semi-autos, like the MK11 and like the QBU and the SVD. I think it actually shoots 30 to 40 rounds quicker. I think it shoots close to 300 rounds per minute, where the other ones are like 260 or something like that. So it does win the rate of fire battles in that respect, but it doesn't have the same accuracy. It's got a little bit worse aim down sight accuracy, but you trade that off for the 20 round magazine, which I personally feel like, weapons like the M39, the SVD, you should have the ability to put a 20 round magazine on those guns, because I think that would make them much more usable. Because let's face it, you don't get killed by these things all that often. I mean, sit down and think about it. How often do you actually get killed by semi-auto snipers? I mean, if you compare it to like the M16 and all the other weapons in the game, semi-auto snipers are not that big of a problem. I mean, not that many people use them, especially like the SVD and the MK11. I would say I see the M417 a pretty good amount, but I would say on the grand scale of Battlefield 3, semi-auto snipers are pretty underused and pretty underappreciated. I mean, I think if you're going to go recon, you either go bolt action or maybe you go PDW. I mean, it's really just depends on the scenario, but a lot of people don't like the semi-auto snipers, and I think that's a pretty telling sign of just how good or bad they are. I know a lot of people tend to think the M417 is just way too good even now, but I definitely disagree with that to the fullest extent. Because let's face it, let's say you go into a tryhard server, are you going to hop on there and be like, man, these guys are all whooping me with their M16s, I better put on my SVD, I better put on my MK11 mod? No, that never, ever, ever happens. So, I think the way that these snipers are, the semi-autos in Battlefield 3, I think they're actually pretty good. I think they're pretty well balanced. I know so many people get upset when they get killed by one of these, because they just say, oh, it's a spam weapon, it's a no-skill weapon, and I understand, getting one-shot killed by a sniper rifle, it can be a little bit frustrating, but there's a reason why not that many people rely on the semi-autos, and that's frankly just because they are more difficult to use. It takes more of a grasp of the concept on how to use these things, and I tried to play these way too aggressive back in the day. I mean, you've really got to time your shots, you've got to be smart about it, and I've noticed with the M417, I get way more assists than if I use like the SVD, the MK11, even the QBU. I always get that wrong, but yes, it is the QBU 88. Even those seem to pack a little bit more punch than the M417. I think that's just more of the accuracy. You miss a few more shots with this. And I tend to run this with laser sight. I don't know why. Just don't really see any other reason to slap anything else on there, like a suppressor or like a flash suppressor. And I'm actually running bipod in this video, but I never use it. So a tip for me, just don't put the bipod even on there. I put it on there with the logic, hey, you never know, I might need it, but then again, it just mostly just gets in the way. I know a lot of people will be tempted to use the foregrip on this, and I did some testing when I was playing with this weapon, and I did not like it with foregrip. I mean, it's all about accuracy. It's a marksman weapon, so unless you're super up close, the foregrip only penalizes you to the point where it just doesn't give you enough benefit. I mean, the recoil is really easy to control on this thing. I think that's one of the reasons why people hated it back in the close quarters days, but I would say as it is right now, these semi-autos are just completely fine. So let me know in the comments, do you guys like spam cannons? Do you think they're stupid? Do you think they need to be removed from Battlefield 3? Or do you prefer them in the role like I'm using, like the battle rifle style? So let me know in the comments. I'm interested to see where you guys stand on these semi-auto snipers, because we've been doing a lot with bolt action, but not that much with semi-autos lately. And if you missed my past video, now's a chance to catch up. I posted a Battlefield 3 video. It kind of talked about why I haven't been posting a lot of videos lately. You guys may have noticed that, and that kind of explains it in that video. And before that, I actually did a video talking about whether or not one player can actually impact a game. So check those out, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.